Hello and welcome to another episode of Looking for Yoda. Well, today's episode did not go exactly the way I thought it would. It went great and it went in ways I never thought. We started out on crystals and stones and tarot cards, and anyway, I talked to Melissa. She's a hairdresser. She finds connection. We both found a connection. We're both therapists. Anyway, I found it super fascinating, and I hope you do too. Okay.
Sponsored by I Brew Coffee. LaCroix. Cheers. Thank you, Melissa, for coming today.
No, thank you for coming to my office today.
Yeah, this is nice. What's the name of this place?
Paper Salon.
Paper. How did you choose the name Paper?
Well, my friend Laura and her wife, Robin, were brainstorming, and we decided we just wanted a clean slate.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh canvas.
Paper.
It's also very funny because there's hair and nails gallery, like 2 doors down.
Yeah. That did confuse me when I pulled up. I'm like, no, it's got to be Paper.
It's really funny because people are like, do you know that there's
That's okay. Do you ever get into the zone when you're working on someone in the salon?
Yeah, I kind of like come back to myself when I'm blow drying hair because I can't really hear anybody.
Yeah.
Because I've been blow drying in my ear for the 15 years, so I'm a little deaf in my left ear. Like, what? I'm gonna ask you what 17 times? What? Don't try to talk to me.
That's pretty cool. Do you have those things that come down over your head? Like the old
we have
school
one.
kind?
Do you want to sit under it?
No. I've done that. I've done that. Well, the only other salon that I frequent is Jeff.
Yep.
He does this. Can you imagine? Oh my God. I always like to give, if there's anybody there like somebody else, I just love giving Jeff shit and just going like, yeah, he does my hair. And then they look at me. They look at me and they're terrified. And I also have my friend Kelly. She's a barber, and but she does this.
Yeah.
And I have a scar down.
University.
She's
By the 331?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called the Barber Sharp.
Yep.
She's wonderful. But I love to screw around with her new clients too. I'll show them the scar on my neck, and I'll go, yeah. See, this is when Kelly was starting out. She kind of, she was trial and error, this kind of stuff, so, which is a total lie because I had surgery. But yeah, she's been shaving me for 8 years, like when she started, basically, took over and she's grown that business, and yeah, she's cool. Anyway. So
Hair removal, hair shortening, hair dyeing.
Exactly. Oh my God. I remember when we were doing training that there were some moments when you came in and you shared things with us, and that was fascinating. I remember when you didn't we all picked a stone?
Yeah, we all picked a stone, and then I told everybody whatever. I think I had 4 different ones. And they all just I'm not somebody who looks for the stone that they, I needed to do this. I just we'll wander into the crystal shop and just be drawn to something and then go home and look in my crystal Bible.
Your crystal Bible.
Crystal Bible. You can buy it on Amazon, like everything.
Okay, yeah. Well, I suppose you could buy crystals on Amazon.
Probably.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to do that.
Yeah. But you'll get the Bible.
Yes.
So, you use what were we doing with that? I mean, I remember getting mine, and then you told me some stuff. What's the significance of the stones?
Just for me, it makes it feel like you have a connection more to the earth because it comes from the earth. It's somewhere in the world, different usually than Minnesota, unless you're up north.
Right.
And it just gives a different energy than you're used to having around you.
But what do you mean by
a clarifying energy, or like a power energy? Amethyst up here is it just keeps everything clean and cleansed. And I always have a smoky quartz in my pocket, and that just kind of keeps like the negative energy away.
Really?
Yeah.
What other stones do what things?
There's so many, I can't even remember all of them.
So
I have the Bible.
Right.
I have really bad memory.
Right.
I can remember probably if I cut your hair 6 years ago, what you were doing then, but I can't remember everything anymore.
I have pretty selective memory. Sometimes people think I'm a genius because I remember something, the most minute detail, and yet they'll say something like, "How was your weekend?" I'll be like, "Great."
Great.
They'll be like, "What'd you do? What'd you do?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. Apparently, I was living in the moment, not really recording it all."
Exactly.
So it's terrible though, because sometimes I have to go on to because I'm a social media whore, and I you know, I
What
just
did somebody tag me in? What did I do?
I know. So I'll go through and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's what I did this weekend." I'll be like, "What?"
How did I forget that?
Yeah,
Obviously, it
exactly.
wasn't that memorable.
Well, you know what I think part of it is? I think part of it is that I record it, and when I record something, it goes out of my
It's just
head.
like you're looking at it on TV.
You know?
Instead of, like actually physically looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like it just disappears from my head too. Like I'll just say
Your memory storage is in your phone and not in your brain.
right, exactly. Which is weird. I feel like it's kind of changing us. You know what I mean?
We just watched a documentary last night on Netflix that just came out about Cambridge Analytica and Facebook and the 2016 election.
And like
Brittany
all
Kaiser
the stuff they know about us.
Yeah, like just the crazy shit.
Yeah.
You should watch it. I fell asleep halfway through.
It was that good.
I was
that
very
good.
tired. I was very tired.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
When we moved from South Dakota to Minnesota, my dad got really into us needing to go to church. All of a sudden.
Okay.
So I was baptized, had confirmation, first communion, all that crap, like that.
okay.
And I was just like, this is kind of bullshit. Like, I understand his reasoning for want like a group of like-minded people.
Yeah.
But that was not for me.
That wasn't the community that you were looking for.
I taught Sunday school, so I didn't have to go to church. Like, my community was like helping everybody else.
yeah.
And not
Yeah.
sitting and doing nothing
Yeah.
and feeling guilty like the good Catholics make you feel.
So do you feel like a spiritual person?
It's been an up and down roller coaster probably since then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything controlling us, but I think that you just need to not suck as a human.
You need to not suck as a human. You
Golden rule,
heard it
don't
here.
suck as a human.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what your parents are supposed to teach you, regardless.
Yeah.
So,
No, I like that.
what about you?
Yeah. I am on the
Skeptical
path.
optimist.
I am on the path, and I'm still. Yeah, I don't like to close any doors, but yeah, I don't like to close doors. I gravitate between being agnostic and yeah, I would say I'm agnostic. I used to think I was an atheist, but then the more I talk to people, the more I realize that I don't fucking know everything, and so I would say I'm just open. Now, how that processes through me or how I feel about things, I mean, yeah, I don't really think there's something out there controlling it, but at the same time, I do feel like the universe has a. There's just. It's hard. I don't know. I don't really have words.
Right?
One of the things I've learned in the last couple of weeks is that when I'm trying to explain things like that, I'm like, bleh. I don't know how to say it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I don't have words for it because I don't think there are really words. You know, I think of things like energy and the flow and stuff like that, but then I think like, well, what is the flow? What does that mean? And energy, what do you mean by energy? I mean, I do kind of come back to, I'm kind of a scientific person, so I do tend to go back to things like matter can neither be created nor destroyed, which gives me such comfort because I think to myself, matter, right? Matter can neither be created nor destroyed, which means that this and all of this has always existed. And after I shed this or I die, it will continue to exist forever in some form because it's matter. And where energy goes into all this, I don't know, but it gives me comfort and it makes me think that time doesn't even really exist. If you look at it like there's no beginning, no end, and I know.
Too much.
Yeah, time is one of those things, kind of like language, where we're trying to explain some concept. Like, I was going to meet you here at 6:00. What does that mean? Well, it's convenient for us. This is our matter. Our matter got together.
Matter together.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's I'm pretty scientific, but
Yeah.
I'm open to
Yeah, I feel like
ideas.
it's more like the world, like the physical, actual Earth, has more energy than like the idea of somebody creating all of this. And like, there's a lot of shitty things in the world, so why would somebody let that happen?
But such a beautiful day today too,
I know.
right? Do you think there's more shady stuff in the world than good stuff?
Again, trying to be an optimist. I've been talking to a lot of friends about the upcoming election, and I'm just like, keep telling myself, like, there wasn't enough people that voted. There are going to be more people out voting this time. Only 24% of the country voted
Yeah.
that way to pick the Cheeto. So I'm just hoping there's more good than evil.
Yeah, me
Or
too.
more
I just
common
hope
sense
I hope people
than
turn out to
greed.
I hope people turn out to vote and because we don't
Go
need
vote.
4 more years of that.
Go vote. We'll pick you up and bring you.
I can't. Yeah.
Let's get away from that.
Yeah, that's fine. All the Trump voters just unsubscribe from my channel anyway, right
I'm
now.
sure they're all
So-
watching right now.
Of course they are, because they're super into yoga and energy and.
Totes.
So, I guess when I was talking about the flow, I have a hard time with like explaining. Are there things you do that really, like, can you give me an example of something that you do that makes you kind of forget, like your conscious goes back and your subconscious comes up, like where you're just kind of in a zone or you just feel connected to something other than just this?
I try to.
Well, do you?
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess going to like yoga nidra helps with that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at my house, it's kind of chaos all the time. I'm a crazy person with 3 dogs, so there's always something or someone on top of you.
Didn't you post a video once where you tried to do yoga and when there was a dog and
Yeah, there's always a dog somewhere.
yeah.
If they're not touching me, they're looking at me and barking at me. Yeah.
Well, what does? Okay, you're a dog person.
I'm a crazy dog person.
I love this. I love where this conversation is going. So, how do dogs connect us with the universe?
They're just so wonderful.
In what way?
They just love you no matter what, and like they're just so happy all the time. Like even if they're bummed, they're still happy.
Well, what does that teach us as humans?
Treat others like that.
Yeah.
Just be happy to see somebody.
Can you imagine if people were like dogs?
It would be insane.
Yeah, it would be insane.
We would not be in Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your dogs' names?
Dino the Doberman, and he's going to be 12 next month, he's an old man. And then Zero, who is 5, It's a little terrier. It's about 35 pounds. And then my new baby, Sunny, is a Chihuahua Terrier mix, and she's like 9 pounds.
Chihuahua Terrier mix. What does that even look like?
She's got giant bat ears, and she's brindle and white, and her tail just does not stop going. Mm-hmm. She's very cute.
Yeah. And how would you differentiate their 3 personalities?
Well, Dino's a grumpy old man who gets whatever he wants. And Zero's insane. And this little dog, I hope, does not become insane like her big brother.
Mm-hmm. Insane meaning like...
He barks at everything. He thinks he's protecting us from somebody walking down the street.
Yeah.
From a car driving by. From the garbage truck. From us starting our own motorcycles. It's a lot.
Yeah.
He's going to obedience class with his baby sister. Again.
So what do you think of cats?
Some cats are fine. Some cats are very independent.
Okay. So, think of yourself as a cat person.
When there's mice living in my apartment, I definitely am a cat person.
Oh, funny you should say that, because we've got mice where I'm living right now, and I was like, can we borrow a cat for a few days? Because
You need a
the mice
mouser.
Yeah, I know. I used to live with cats, and that was one of the best things. It's just like they would just kill them all,
Yep.
and then they place them outside your bedroom door so that you can step in their entrails.
Oh man, I had a cat when I had an apartment with mice. One of my friends had a mouse or cat. She came to live with me Christmas morning. She's tucking a dead mouse into bed with me. And then on New Year's Day, I go into the kitchen and she's presenting this mouse on the kitchen table. Holidays. Leaving gifts on holidays.
That's nice.
That's what she was all about.
That's really nice. Very often I ask people what their superpower is. And
Cutting people's hair.
Really?
Yeah.
You really like cutting people? I mean, yeah. So what do you mean? What about it?
Just like being able to transform somebody's feelings about themselves with a haircut, or like making their day easier. My hair is pretty crazy right now too, so.
Mine's not. Look at mine. It's totally not crazy.
I have a hair appointment on Thursday.
You do? And how's that going to make you feel?
Amazing.
Well, who cuts the hair cutter's hair?
My coworker and I play kitchen beautician at the salon. That's what we like to call it. I'm sure Jeff has used that term with you too. Kitchen beautician. Don't be a kitchen beautician. We play beauty salon, and do each other's hair at the same time, so we're efficient.
I'll have to admit, whenever I go in thinking I'm like, I just need a little trim because, I'm starting to look like Bozo the Clown. I get in there and I'm there for 3 or 4 hours because he's got all these ideas of all the things you could do to my hair. And I'm like, and I am totally like fine with anything. And I'm like, okay. The last time I walked in there, it was like, let's make your hair white. And I was like, sure.
Great, you have all day.
Yeah, and so now his hair is the same color as my hair.
Oh
So
my
I don't know what's going
God.
on. But anyway. It's funny.
Superpowers. What would your superpower be? Has anybody asked you that?
Yeah, in fact, this question kind of comes from my first interview. I started asking everybody because Marnie asked me what my superpower was. And I said my superpower is basically what we're doing, which is I love listening to people. I have a very curious mind, and I do give a shit about people's ideas.
Yeah.
And I think I convey that when I talk with somebody that, I'm not just like, yeah, okay, next question. Yeah. I love conversations. Like some of my favorite things in the world, well, you could kind of sum it up. It would be like a table with a few people, or it could be like this, like a coffee shop or salon. But that feeling of just being around people and conversation, and a lot of times it has to do with like preparing food and cooking and then sharing the food. That's how I kind of feel that connection with the universe and stuff.
At work, do you spend a lot of time like working on things individually by yourself?
About half the time.
Okay.
I mean, there are 6 people on the IT team, and we're all working in various degrees on people's computer issues, but I am the personality guy. Like, I'm the guy that goes around, like when you're freaking out with your iPhone or your computer and you want to smash your computer, I'm the person that comes up and I'm like, hello, I'm your tech therapist, and it's just like,
let's turn it off and turn it back on, and while
turn
we're
it off,
doing
turn it back on.
let's do some
If that doesn't work, let's try.
yoga.
Yeah, exactly. The more people freak out with technology, the more I just kind of go into a zone. I even just kind of go slower, and I'm just like, it's okay. So I do a lot of hand holding and stuff at my job, and I really enjoy it, because if it was just fixing computers all the time, so I was just thinking, like, you with your clients, you talking.
Well, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one-on-one with somebody, for an hour at the least.
Yes. So some people.
But I also, at the end of the day, like, I have no energy to go out and socialize like you do after work.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd say about half my time I'm working on computer stuff, or maybe I'm like remoting into somebody's computer to fix it. But the other half, I really like going around and helping people. And if it was just fixing computers, I would have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
For me, it's the human aspect of helping people with technology. And that goes back to the part about, I like talking with people and conversation and ideas. Usually, I might be fixing somebody's computer. I'll be like, "So what did you do this weekend?" And all this kind of stuff. So it's
I don't remember what I did, so why don't you tell me what you did?
But you must. I know exactly. You look up Facebook. What did I do? But you must have different levels of. I was going to say intimacy with like your clients. Like some do some come in and just be like, I'm not talking at all. I mean,
so most of my clients I've had for a really long time. So I've seen them through a lot of things in their lives, and even with new clients, like, it's usually somebody who I know has sent them into me now. Mm-hmm. So then we have something in common already. A person.
Right.
And I'm kind of really open and share like everything. Like, if somebody's having like some mental health struggles, I'll be like, oh, well, I've been on this antidepressant and this antidepressant, and this is what I'm doing now. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Mm-hmm. Maybe you should take yoga. Maybe you should go to a meditation. Maybe you should read this book. Like, I don't hold anything back from anybody. Like, I will share whatever.
Right, and they listen to you, and you give a shit about what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess we're kind of similar in certain ways. It's kind of, I mean, totally.
Yeah, it's funny, like, when people come in and it's like, I can't believe that you remember that from last time, or like 2 haircuts ago. It's like,
yeah.
I can't remember your hair color formula. I write that down, but I remember everything else.
Yeah.
And I probably don't remember what my best friend's birthday is.
Yeah.
But I know when your kid's birthday is.
Yeah. I think people really want to be listened to. Mm-hmm. And most people like to talk.
Yeah. And sometimes people don't get to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just want to be quiet, and they'll just say to me, like, I just had like a really shitty day. I just need to decompress. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really funny when people will ask me to just like talk to them and not have like a conversation, where they're just like,
you mean like,
you
tell
can
me
just
a story.
talk about whatever, and I'm like, that's not really how I work. Like, I need the interaction.
Yeah. Me too.
Otherwise, silence is fine.
Yeah.
I'll just eavesdrop on the conversation behind me.
Yeah. Did I ask you like how long you've been?
15 years.
15 years, that's right. And you started how?
I started doing like apprenticeship assisting at a place in town that I will not name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked at a mall salon for a little while, which is a nightmare. And then I worked at Sweeney Todd's for 8 years, and then I worked at Honeycomb for almost 5 years, and now I've been here for almost 1 year.
And you still like it?
Yeah. I don't know what else I would do.
How are you different now than, say, like those first few years when you were starting out?
I mean, you just don't really know anything when you're done with hair school. They just like teach you 5 basic haircuts and then send you out into the world to figure out how to do something with them.
Well, and they take your money too.
Yeah. They're really good at that. I mean, it's like 13% of people who go through hair school like still have the same job within like a year. Like you're still in the profession. It's something ridiculous like that.
Really?
Yeah. Because people just think it's going to be like, oh, this is something I'll do while I'm going to college, or this is just something I'll spend a little time doing. It's like, you just wasted some money.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I don't think everybody really. It's hard to identify early on, like what you're going to be into, or what you're going to be passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I took a year off after high school. I had some money to spend on school, so I didn't want to waste it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of was like, well, do I want to go into like merchandising? Do I want to go into advertising? Do I want to just keep working? Or do I want to go to hair school? Because I was cutting everybody's hair in high school anyways.
Mm.
Line everybody up in the bathroom or the garage. So that's what I decided to do.
That's
and
cool.
here I am now.
Did you see Chris Rock's documentary? It was called Good Hair.
I think I saw it a long time ago when it first came out.
That just blew my mind. It was like, I should probably watch other hair documentaries, but that was like the one that just like, I was like, what? Oh my
I don't remember what it was all about.
It was about the industry of cutting black people's hair, and it was so intense, like everything that's involved, and straightening and
Texturizing,
oh
yeah.
My God.
Highly texturized hair.
Yeah.
And like, that's like a whole specialty.
Well, do you have African American clients?
I don't personally right now.
Mm.
I have in the past.
Mm.
And I mean, I think of hair as like fiber, like
Right.
think of how many different fibers there are in the world. Like, think of how many people there are in the world. Everybody's hair is different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got some wonky colic. Everybody's got some weird
Boy, do I know.
hairline thing that's going like this. And it's just... And people, bring in a photo and be like, I look just like this. Like, well, that's about 9 hours of extensions and somebody's standing right next to them to make sure they look like that while this photo's being taken. So,
Yeah.
those are not my clients.
Right. I got, I think they were extensions once. Yes, I'm admitting this on YouTube.
Right here.
No, I was living in Paris at the time, and I got a bug up my ass, and I'm like, I want dreadlocks.
Oh, I did that once too.
So I went to the north part of Paris, where all the West Africans live. And I walked into a salon, and they turned around and they looked at me, and I'm like, I want dreadlocks, And she just kind of like smiled at me, and then she's like, okay. And somehow they had my color, and so they did the whole thing where they weaved in, because my hair was about like this length, and so they weaved in like hair. And then they did the craziest shit to it where I felt like they put the weaving was horrible because they would pull it really tight. And I could just feel, and it was so painful. This whole process took like 8 hours. Mm-hmm. And they weaved it all in, did all that kind of stuff. And then somehow they gooped on this stuff that looked like Elmer's glue or whatever.
Yep.
And then made it all like this. And then I walked out of there, and I had big, fat, natty dreads, and it was just crazy. And I got back home, And my wife looked at me, yeah, and she's like, "What did you do?" And she refused to walk on the same side of the street. She refused to sleep with me. Like, I had to sleep on the sofa. And I held out for about a month. And then I took the whole thing off. And I actually had, like, I did it in such a way that I could just pull the whole thing off. And it had this wig, and I remember taking it. And my kids were really small at the time. Like 5 and 3 or 4 and 2 or whatever. So then I took my dreadlocks hair and I put it on them. I put it on their heads, you know.
Run and scare
and
Mom.
I took some pictures and stuff like that, and yeah, that was my whole dreadlocks experience. But yeah, she did not like that. But we did get divorced, so you know she was probably right. She was probably right. So yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to do it, and I've been very impulsive, like most of my life. More when I was younger, but now.
Yep.
I'm still kind of impulsive, but yeah.
Not an 8 hours worth of impulsiveness.
Well, off the record. Like, I'll tell you about it when we're done with this. Because I can't put this one out.
Oh, jeez.
It's too early. So, anyway, hair extensions, just crazy stuff. I love talking about hair. I did not think today's focus would be on the whole hair and all of this stuff, but it's fascinating.
I mean, when I ran into you last week and you were like, "Oh yeah, we're probably going to talk about connection," and like that's like my main connection to people.
I know,
like,
it's so
I'm
cool.
physically touching people all day long and talking with them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you said intimate, but like that's kind of really the only way to say it.
Well, I'm glad I got a ride.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have so many people's secrets. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And just like, I'm like a time capsule. Like I said, like one of my clients' kids just graduated and it's like, oh my God, I remember when she started first grade. Like I can just like close my eyes and that's the baby that I see. I don't see her as an 18-year-old. I'm just like, this is too much. I can't handle it.
Yeah, that's cool. He's from the...
Yeah.
Well, so you're kind of like I'm a tech therapist and you're a hair therapist, and there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. Although I think in my line of work in technology, a lot of guys in IT aren't very
not very forthcoming
sociable.
with feelings.
Yeah, they're doing this kind of stuff. They're kind of geeked out on it. So therapy. Yeah. So what are some? I don't want to know all their secrets, but like what are some themes that you touch on when you're talking with clients or? Like,
I mean, we have like the winters from hell here, so a lot of people get seasonal depression.
Yeah.
So that's always something big.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people that have been like sick. I've had clients who've gotten cancer. I've shaved heads. Seen them go through that whole process.
This is like, I'm cheating on my husband.
I did have one person like that. I only saw her for maybe like 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just like, what?
Are they? What percentage are?
I would say got about 50% female to male.
Okay.
It's a pretty good mix.
Yeah. Did you ever have anyone hit on you?
Yes, and that's very awkward.
Yeah, you're cutting their hair and.
Yeah, like, okay, thanks, never see you again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really rude.
Yeah.
There's like boundaries. Like, don't cross the boundaries. People.
Yeah. Well, but the thing, I mean, because unlike what I'm doing, I'm not touching people.
Yeah.
But I mean, you are. I mean, yeah, I do find when I go get my hair done, I mean, I really like that part where you go back and they do the shampooing and you're like, oh, and the thing is going.
Yep.
And they're just doing all this good stuff, and then they do it again and again. I'm like, wow, I've never washed my hair this much, And then they're just towel, and you're like, ah. And I remember living in Asia, you would get your hair cut or your beard done, and you would get like more than that. You'd get the neck and the shoulders and all this kind of stuff, and you'd be like, oh, just amazing.
We do a hot steam towel.
Oh yeah, I get that when I go see Kelly. She, I like to tell people, well, it's like being Clint Eastwood in a Western, you know.
That's right. We just do it just to enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you add any kind of like
Essential oil.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you get a little spritz at the end. You know how much I like spritzing people.
Yes, I know. You do. You do.
I thought about bringing a spritz today to spritz you, but
Oh, well, next time.
I was worried about getting the dog too. Her doggy play date.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so themes, 50-50. God, I just...
So like having that much time with people all day at work, like going to yoga, and yes, I'm with people, but it's like nobody's touching me. And usually if somebody wants to give adjustments, I usually say no, just because like this is just my time to just be in my own body and not have anybody else touching me or touching anybody else. So I think if I ever do teach yoga, I probably will not do assists just because this job is so much
hands-on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That totally
like
makes sense.
physical contact.
Well, I know I haven't gotten to that point in my teaching. I mean, I've been teaching. I still feel very beginner-like, you know, and I'm still working it out. And
It's the beginner's mind.
I'm the beginner's mind, exactly. I'm like a child. Yeah, but yeah, adjustments are so far out there. I still haven't gotten to the point where I actually get up off my mat and walk around, you know, like, hey, I'll do this and do this, you know, and I'm like, I know it's just this little weird little barrier in my head where I'm like, the mat gives me safety, and doing it with them makes me like, I understand it better, but I know that all I need to do is just step back and then look at one person and just go, okay, their right leg is back there, their left leg is there. Just pretend that they are you and just take them through it, you know. But I still haven't gone across that barrier, but I will eventually. I think I'm probably going to meet some friends at Powderhorn and just kind of try it that way. That's not so formal like at work where I teach. So I got a new class. I've got two now. I've got the one on Tuesdays tomorrow at noon, but then I'm starting one because it's getting warmer out. I've got a class that's starting before work at like 7:45 in the morning, once a week, just kind of morning, which seems like it'll be fun.
On the roof?
On the roof.
Cool.
Yeah, same place we had that show, concert. Beginner's mind.
It's always there.
Yeah. So then what you do, you like what you do, so it must bring you happiness?
Yeah.
What
I feel like sometimes I don't make enough time for myself away from work. Like everybody's doing stuff in the evenings and I'm still at work because I work usually noon to 8. So that's why I get to go to class in the morning. So my social time is more before work when everybody else is at work.
Right.
But I usually wake up at like 6 and have some time by myself, usually sitting outside with the dogs, running around like a bunch of maniacs,
So
burning the energy.
So dogs make you happy.
Yep.
What else makes you happy?
Good cup of coffee in the morning.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm like, I could give up everything in this world, but I don't think I could give up coffee.
Yeah. It'd be bad.
I don't want to.
Too bad.
But, well, so okay, coffee, dogs.
Traveling.
Yeah, I love traveling. Now, when you say traveling, do you mean like a road trip or getting on a plane going to some other country, or what do you mean?
I usually, well, my boyfriend is really all about going to new places, so usually we're flying somewhere. I do have planned a road trip with my friend to go to a retreat in Marfa, Texas in the fall, which I'm really looking forward to. So we're gonna camp and road trip down there and then be there and then road trip back.
I love road trips. I don't take road trips enough, but I just love them. I mean, it's different than flying someplace. It's like,
Yeah, it's really weird sometimes when you get on a plane and then you get off a plane and you're just like, holy shit, it's completely different here. But it was like, I just stepped on one place and stepped off another.
yeah. And a road trip, there's like an element of freedom to it, like being in a car and you're in control. You're not going through the TSA and all that.
You can bring whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. You can say bum, terrace, bum.
You can bring more than 3 ounces of your face wash.
Yes.
And coffee.
Yes. You can bring your weed. Oh, sorry.
Freedom.
Freedom. Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah, travel. Okay. Travel's one of my favorite ones too. I was talking about the table and conversation and cooking food. That, like, if I could travel places and then all of a sudden there's like 8 people at a table and we're all having conversation and eating food, and usually there's like a glass of wine too, but yeah. So that's that, and travel happiness. But sometimes I struggle with like I've been here for 16 years, so I've developed relationships and I have friends that I'm really close to. So it's odd to think of leaving, like moving away or something, or traveling a lot where you're always new people, but you're never really getting in deep and having that.
Yeah, I mean we've been talking about moving, and it's bittersweet because I would love to not have winter, but also like this is my home. My people are here, so
yeah, winter can get.
So I'm just like gonna try to be like, okay, I'm gonna take more vacations, and I'm fine traveling by myself too. It's not just like I have to have my partner or a friend with me. I'm totally content just going somewhere by myself.
Yeah, I like traveling by myself too. Yeah. Well, it is nice. I mean, if you're going to live here, it's nice to have a little bit of an escape in the winter. Went to Puerto Rico last winter.
Cool.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's right.
Jeez, it was good. And I had no idea. I didn't even know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was way down there in the Caribbean, and that the people were just wonderful, and the fact that it was a couple of years after Maria just made everyone so nice and grateful that we were there. And it was and that island is just, it's not like there are just 3 or 4 things to do on that island. There are like 100.
No, I have a girlfriend that goes there every year.
Yeah.
Probably for like the last 6 years.
Yeah, I feel like I should probably go back. Have you ever been over to Hawaii?
Yes, the Big Island is my favorite. We
The
just
big
went
one?
again this last March.
Really?
Yeah, we went 3 years ago. We usually go like on like a good long vacation the end of March, beginning of April.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's a good time.
I mean, I have like gone through how I could just like sell all my shit and how I could move to the Big Island, but it's very rural. I don't know if I could last more than like 3 months there.
Why do you like the Big Island so much?
Because it has all the microclimates.
Okay.
If you're too hot, you just go to a different part. You're too cold, you go to a different part.
That's a good point.
It's
I never
raining,
thought of that.
you drive an hour, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Cool. Yeah, I've only ever been over there once, and that was to Kauai, and learned to surfing.
See, and that's the funny thing. Like, I love islands, but I am terrified of the ocean, and I am a horrible swimmer. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for not putting me in swimming lessons as a kid, which seems insane. So I'm gonna try to get over that fear this winter.
Yeah.
Indoor swimming lessons. Pretend like it's warm.
Good.
In Minnesota.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
If I keep telling enough people, then I actually have to do it, right?
But do you have a fear of the ocean because of the swimming, or
No,
because
I
of
think the ocean
all
is-
the creepy stuff underneath?
I think the ocean is kind of like space. Like, I'm fine, like, getting into a certain point, but it's like, You don't know what the fuck is out there.
Yeah. Well, I did conquer my fear of sharks when I went to Kauai because I grew up in California, Southern California, go to the ocean. If my feet leave the ground as I'm floating out, I'm like, backing up.
Yeah.
You know, and it would always kind of freak me out thinking about it. And I think I got totally fucked up by the movie Jaws, and there was just something about it. It just screwed me up.
One movie you shouldn't have watched.
I know, exactly. Yes, and so for the longest time, and it wasn't until a couple of years ago when I went to Kauai, and my buddy, he's a surfer, he's like, let's go surf. And I'm like, dude, I'm really afraid of sharks. And then he like broke it down and told me that, you know, nobody's been killed by a shark in Kauai, and we've had 2 shark attack deaths in 80 years. And I'm like, okay. So I just went out there, but he was always on his board and I was on mine, and there were other surfers, and I would go out and I would just be like thinking like, oh, my feet are down there, you know, and it's like, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna die. But
No, you're not gonna die. You're just gonna lose a limb. It's fine.
yeah, exactly, and blood everywhere. You know?
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
No, exactly. So yeah, so it was like I just had to, because you know it's what my buddy does, and I had decided I just gotta do it, and I'm just gonna. It's like jumping out of an airplane. You're just sort of like, I really hope the chute opens. You know, statistically, it's going to open, and I'm going to be fine. But you know, shark, and so yeah, it was still kind of in the back of my mind a little bit. But then you know, I was with the surfers, and it's such a good workout, and it was fun.
I can only imagine.
So, yeah. So yeah, I really, by the time I left there, I wanted to go back. I really envied my buddy who, you know, he does
there?
construction. Yeah, he does construction. He lives there. He's got a little house that he built, and he goes surfing every day after work or before work, and then he just hits whatever the local bar is right
Maybe
there.
we need to try to plan a yoga retreat to Hawaii.
Yeah, there you go. Yoga and surfing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, surfing, wow. Anyway, connection.
Good meditation.
It is.
You really have to focus on it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel riding a motorcycle.
Ooh.
You really have to
Do you have a
focus.
motorcycle?
Mm-hmm.
So what's that like, riding a motorcycle?
You really have to focus on what the heck you're doing,
Yeah.
and you have to be very in the present moment.
Talk about freedom.
Yeah. I don't go very fast. It's
Yeah.
only a 350.
Yeah. I only had a motorcycle once in my life, and that was in Taipei, and there were about 5 million people, and it was me and my little motorcycle, and it was crazy. But I never got to feel like
Yeah.
the open road.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
I'll take Cedar South to get home and get off on 66. So, you know, I go like 65 for like half a mile.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if the wind blows, it's not good.
Do you wear a helmet?
Yes,
Oh,
of course. And boots always. And
Yeah.
gloves always.
Yeah. I love motorcycles, but you're right. You have to. Well, I mean, it's not the same. I ride my bike everywhere,
That's scarier.
You kind of have to be like, oh, I hope the person behind me in the car is not texting.
Yeah. Which will be the law will be in effect on Thursday.
Yes, I know.
You're like, yes,
no,
I got that.
no, I was looking
It's
at
on my
the date.
calendar.
Yeah. I was like, yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've been a big advocate of.
I'm always that person that like looks over at the person who's not looking, and I'm just like staring at them and pointing, like, put your fucking phone down.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Just like, who do you think you are? What is so important?
Yeah.
Be mindful of everyone around you.
I mean, you're driving like a.
Don't suck as a human.
Don't suck as a human. As you hurtle down the road in your 2,000-pound steel machine.
Your death machine.
Your death. I know, exactly. Well, I haven't had a car in maybe 6 years, and I don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, occasionally.
Yeah.
You know, every now and then.
But
road trip.
borrow
trips.
Borrow it. So rent something.
Yes, exactly. But in general.
You should rent an RV and go on a road trip.
Say that again?
You should rent an RV and go on a road trip.
Okay.
See what the kids are doing. Maybe they want to go with. Could you imagine being in an RV with your kids?
Yeah, they're super cool.
But just like super tight quarters.
Yeah, I think we'd be okay.
In a place where
my
you don't
daughter's
know
really
anybody.
small. My daughter's small. My son is. Have you met my son?
No.
I think he came to yoga with me a few times. He's like 6'3" and has hair down to. He's never had his hair cut.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like down to there, and it's just like this giant mane, and he looks like Thor, and he goes in, especially when he goes to his sword fighting class, and he has this gigantic sword back here. He looks just like the Vikings going off to. It's just the strangest thing. But that's
Never
what he's
had a
into.
haircut.
That's what no, and it used to be the funniest thing. My parents, my father would always be, his grandfather would always be like, well, when are we going to get that haircut? You're going to have to cut your hair if you want to get a job. Of course, my son solved that by just never getting a job.
Mom and Dad won't make me get a job. It's fine, Grandpa.
Yeah, and he's perfectly happy. And you can tell that he loves his hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't you want to just maybe get the ends cut or something? He's like, no, nobody touches my hair. And I'm like,
One of these days he'll have to skim it with his sword.
yeah, exactly. Well, I used to live with him, and I remember watching him just brushing his hair.
Marsha.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it'd be RV, go for a road trip. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think my daughter's turning 29 in a few days.
Oh my God.
I know.
She's gonna be 30 soon.
I know. She was telling me, she's like, Dad, I'm gonna be 29. I can't. Oh God, I'm getting old. And I was like,
Just wait,
well,
kid.
hey, I'm your father. How do you think I feel that you're turning 29? You know?
Oh my gosh.
No. Wait till my kid turns 50, and I'll be like, wait a second, my
Am I still
daughter
old?
is 50. Does that make me old? No, she's got to be 60 before I'm old, or whatever. Oh no. What do you think happens when we die?
Well, if you're cremated, then your body's burned.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are embalmed, you're full of chemicals.
I would kind of prefer not to have either of those options happen. I'd like my body just to be put in like a burlap sack. They take me out into the country. The natural, yeah. And just...
Those are becoming a thing now.
Yeah. Just...
And then you
put
don't even put a headstone. They have you have coordinates, like latitude, longitude coordinates, so people can find where you are resting.
Hmm? Well, I was thinking it would be nice if somebody planted like a little peach tree above.
Yeah, people usually plant trees. That's
plant a
then
tree.
You have coordinate.
And then I disintegrate, and then I go up into the tree, and then the bird eats.
There's your mass.
There it is. Yeah.
Or your matter.
And then next thing you know, I'm a bird, and I'm a tree, and yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page with that one. So, not really looking forward to it though. But everybody always says, but you won't know because you'll be dead. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the part about where I didn't get to have that extra conversation with Melissa. I didn't get to have that extra sunset. I didn't get to have that. But you won't know because you'll be dead. So what does it matter? You know, and it's like, yeah, I get it. But there's so much I want to do with my life.
For that, it's more of like, who else is going to be left? And are they going to be sad? And if they are going to be sad, I don't want them to feel sad and bad and miserable.
Right. Well,
one of my great uncles just passed away this winter, and he said, no funeral, nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't waste any of the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. And his brother, my other great uncle, was not having it. So they just had a memorial of life or remembrance picnic.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just imagine he's just he would just be like, I can't believe that you guys did that.
Yeah, I told him to have a party when I'm gone. Have a party. I kind of like the idea of an Irish wake. everybody gets together playing music and they're
Yeah.
drinking whiskey and remember Keith when he, remember the dreadlocks?
One of the kids will show up with that on.
Yeah.
Remember when Dad put this?
Oh, I wonder what happened to those. Yeah.
They're somewhere in France.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll be dead. There you go.
Yep.
Life goes, the impermanence of life, of everything. Everything's change.
Yep. Cha-cha changes.
Yeah. Well, I sure appreciate getting together and chatting.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't know all your questions, what you were going to ask, and
I didn't even, no, I
it
keep,
just went the way it went.
I printed those the very first interview, and the longer I do this, the more it's just, I go off script and I just go with what I feel, and just kind of, I want to get to know people, and I'm curious about their ideas and things. Like, I didn't know any of that stuff you were telling me today. And it's, that's, to me, is living. Just processing the experience and the information and I'm going to go out into the world and I'm a changed person because we had a conversation,
Yeah.